The discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 was a major event in the field of archaeology. Despite its 3,000-year history, the tomb remained intact, full of gold and artifacts. The opening of the tomb, however, sparked rumors about a curse that led to the death of at least 13 people involved. The mummification process and tombs of ancient Egyptian pharaohs were revered, but Tutankhamun's tomb was different. The small cramped room appeared like a warehouse, and its location away from other royal ancestors was unusual. The lack of a proper coffin for the pharaoh also puzzled researchers. The tomb continues to raise questions and confuse historians. Tutankhamun's tomb was the only one in ancient Egypt that remained intact for 3,000 years. Despite being filled with gold and artifacts, the opening of the tomb led to the deaths of at least 13 people and a curse of the pharaoh's rumor spread. Researchers have noted that many aspects of the tomb and its surroundings were different from what was expected. The ancient Egyptians believed in the divinity of pharaohs after death, which is why mummification and tomb decorations were so important. However, the tomb of Tutankhamun raised many questions, such as why two people were depicted in a different manner and why Osiris's fingers were cut off. The tomb's location and small cramped room puzzled archaeologists and contradicted the belief that the pharaoh should be buried with his ancestors. Additionally, there was no coffin for Tutankhamun, raising further questions. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by archaeologist Howard Carter and Lord George Carlin was met with surprise and confusion. The tomb was unlike any other found in ancient Egypt, being small and cramped instead of grand and spacious. This, and its isolated location far from the pharaoh's royal ancestors, raised questions about its authenticity. The mummification process and decorations in the tomb were also not in line with the usual Egyptian beliefs surrounding the afterlife of a pharaoh. The discovery of two bilingual comments, along with the missing fingers of Osiris and the mysterious annotations of An, added to the puzzle and speculation of a curse on those who entered the tomb. The death of at least 13 people who were present at the opening added to the idea of the curse of the pharaohs. Despite the many mysteries and questions surrounding the tomb, its well-preserved state and abundance of artifact despite its 3,000-year history. The discovery of two bilingual comments, along with the missing fingers of Osiris and the mysterious annotations of An, added to the puzzle, and speculation of a curse on those who entered the tomb. The death of at least 13 people who were present at the opening added to the idea of the curse of the pharaohs. Despite the many mysteries and questions surrounding the tomb, its well-preserved state and abundance of artifacts, including gold, still make it a significant discovery in the world of archaeology. The middle coffin in Tutankhamun's tomb was intended for Neferneferu, Clayton, an enigmatic ruler from Akhenaten's time. However, Tutankhamun was buried hastily in the tomb, possibly due to a sudden death. The cause of his death is unclear, but he suffered from genetic defects, clubfoot, weakened immune system and signs of malaria. He also enjoyed chariot rides and might have died from a chariot accident that broke his bones and squashed his heart. The hasty mummification resulted in a poor quality mummy with a large incision and missing heart. There are theories of spontaneous combustion due to the high amount of oil resin used during the embalming process. The idea of a curse also arose after several scientists and archaeologists died soon after the tomb's opening. Tutankhamun was buried in a hurried manner. After his sudden death, he had several genetic defects and health problems, including a club foot, weak immune system, brittle bones and signs of malaria. Despite his ailments, he enjoyed life and went for chariot rides. Some believe that he fell off the chariot and died from chest injury, but the exact cause of death is unknown. The mummy was of poor quality due to the hasty mummification process. With a large incision from hip to belly button and a missing heart, the tomb was intended for another dignitary, but Tutankhamun was placed in it when he died unexpectedly. After the tomb was opened, Tutankhamun's mummy was found to have a skull fragment dislodged, and some believe it was also set on fire. The idea of the curse of the pharaohs emerged after several archaeologists and members of their families died after the tomb's opening. Tutankhamun was buried in a hurry, as evidenced by the various signs of readjustment found throughout his tomb. It is thought that he may have died suddenly and unexpectedly, and his tomb was not ready. The cause of his death is still unknown, but it is believed that he may have fallen from a chariot and had his chest crushed, causing both his bones and heart to be broken. He was mummified quickly, but the process was done poorly and haphazardly. It is believed that the chemical reaction involving the oils used during the embalming process led to the spontaneous combustion of his body, and the remains had to be scraped from the walls of the coffin when it was opened. The idea of a curse of the pharaohs emerged after a series of unexplained deaths of scientists and archaeologists who were involved in the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. A member of the Egyptian royal family, Prince Ali, was killed by his wife. George Carnahan died of pneumonia and Carter died of natural causes at 64. The idea of a curse in Tutankhamun's story is a mix of truth and myth. There's no evidence of such a curse exists in Egyptian religious practices. Nevertheless, the mystery of Tutankhamun's death remains unresolved, and new information only adds to the confusion. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb by Carter and Lord Carnarvon was followed by rumors of a curse. Despite the facts that many involved in other tomb openings never experienced any mystical influence, the idea of the curse persisted. Prince Ali was shot dead by his wife, while George Carnahan died of pneumonia and Carter died of natural causes at 64. The concept of a curse was not a part of Egyptian religious practices. Despite ongoing efforts by scientists, the cause of Tutankhamun's death remains a mystery, and new information only adds to the confusion.